Huge changes on your 1040 coming down the pike. New 1040 is coming out, my friends, for when you file out your tax returns in the beginning of 2019. I bet you're going to be taken for an interesting surprise. So it's going to be fun. So let's look into this because it's going to be, it's different. Now, the reason I know this is because my wife, she does H&R Block tax courses, and this is from last year. So she had to take CE continuing ed for 2018 to go into 2019. And given the TCJA, the Tax Cut and Jobs Act from 2017, everything has changed. So we have lots. So she and I were looking at the tests that she had taken. It was a challenge for sure. I mean, it's just tons of info. Qualified business income, QBI is the big one right there for sure. So if you're a business owner, self-employed, you really need to understand the QBI. Unfortunately, I don't think many people do. I know I don't because it's still really new to people for sure. But QBI is a big deal. Then secondly, there is a new 1040. And so all the schedules, the line items and all that you were heretofore understanding and recognizing, line 7, line 17, line 9, line 8, line 13, line 43, line 44, line 47, all change. So let's dive right into this. Don't forget to subscribe to Heritage Wealth Planning. And as always, thumbs up and comments help me a lot. All right, so this is an early release draft of 2018. It was released in, I think, August or September. I can't remember. Do not file draft forms. We generally do not release drafts of forms until we believe we have incorporated all changes, as we do not expect this draft to change significantly. All right, if you want to see the updated, you go to irs.gov/latest forms, and you should. All right, so let's see. So let's click on down here. Again, this is just a draft. So here's page 1 of the 1040. All right, so remember, the old page 1 of the 1040 is line 7 on page 1. Oops. The old page 1 of the 1040 was line 7, where you had your wages, salaries, tips. Line 8 was taxable interest, whatnot. That was on page 1. Well, page 1 here, as you can see, all you have is your name, your spouse's name, if you're blind or not, your home address, your dependents, and your signature. That's it on page 1. Nothing else. No income. Don't say page 1 AGI or above the line or below the line deductions from page 1. Doesn't work like that. Page 1 is just your identification info. That's it. Isn't that interesting? Now, page 2 is where it gets interesting. So it used to be page 1, line 7. Now it's page 2, line 1, where you got your wages, salaries, and tips. You got your interest, tax exempt or taxable. You got your qualified dividends and ordinary dividends, line 3. You got your IRAs and pensions, which used to be, what is that line? On line 4, which used to be line 15 and 16. IRAs 15, 16 was the pensions. You got your Social Security benefits, which I think used to be line 20. And then you take your total income. So you add all that up, and you got your total income. Then you have your adjusted gross income. If you have no adjustments to income, enter the amount from line 6, which would be the numbers we just added. Otherwise, subtract Schedule 1, line 36 from line 6. All right, Schedule 1, line 36 from line 6. And I'm not sure if they have the schedules. I think they do. We can look at that. Then from line 8, you take your standard or itemization. They still have a Schedule A for itemized deductions. But if you're like my wife and me, $24,000 of standard deductions, maybe $35,000 when it comes to itemization. I don't know, but let's just say that you had that. So you take the most of the two, obviously. Most people, the vast majority of people no longer have itemized deductions. So most people would be standard deduction. Qualified business income deduction right there. That's the big one, my friends. That is huge. I'm telling you, huge. So if you're not familiar with that, get familiar with it and just follow along because everyone's trying to familiarize themselves with that. Taxable income. So now here we go. So we took our total income, we subtract out our deductions, our itemizations, our standard deductions. And line 10 is our taxable income, which is where we go to the tax tables to figure out what our taxes are. And then you can see right there, line 11 will be your tax, right? Let's see. Total tax, line 15. There you go. So total tax is line 15. That will be how much you have to pay. And then your refundable credits, earned income credit, Schedule 8863, Schedule 8812, total tax, and then add, these are your total payments right here. Line 18 is your total payments. Line 19 is your total refund. So total payments back here was, or total tax back there was federal total taxes, line 15. I think back there is 44, if I'm not mistaken. Total tax was line 44. Yep, there you go. And then that didn't share the refunds. But anyway, total tax was line 44 on page 2. Total tax now is line 15 on page 2. And if you got a refund, there you have it. So that's it, man. Just a one-pager. I mean, that's pretty cool. It's not an envelope like my man Dick Army was always proposing. I wish it were. I wish it were flat tax. Get rid of all deductions. Just make it flat tax. I tell you what, you want to get economic growth like you've never seen. Get those lobbyists out of D.C. Get the Congress people to stop pulling so many strings to earn money from these lobbyists, and then no deductions. What you make, that's your taxes. Done, and done. Never happened though. But anyway, so that's pretty interesting. That's a one-page tax return. That is pretty cool. Now, one page. If you have exemptions, itemizations, and whatnot, it's not quite one page. Let's see here. They show us. There's Schedule A right there. I don't know if they show us the forms. We got Schedule 1. Let's just take a look if we can find Schedule 1. Schedule 1, which they had referred to a couple of times here. Yeah, right there, 1040 Schedule 1, additional income and adjustments to income. So let's see what this guy's about. All right, yeah, it's a draft. Again, remember, go to irs.gov/latest forms. Oh, here we go. Additional income and adjustments to income. Does that look like Schedule A from before? Let's see. Schedule A as additional. Oh, I guess not. Okay. So let's see what they got. Additional. Taxable refunds. Alimony received right here. Business income or capital gains right there. Line 13 on additional income. So there's no more Schedule C, I guess. It's I guess they're. Oh, what is that? Let's see. So was capital gain? Oh, it's not Schedule C, Schedule D, right? What is Schedule D? I always forget the schedules. I have to look them up. I think Schedule D is capital gains and losses. So they're still attached. There's still Schedule D, but they're saying you put the number from Schedule D on this. Okay, so there's still a Schedule C, still a Schedule A, presumably still a Schedule B, and it's still a Schedule C. D, excuse me. So you're putting that on you're using the info from those schedules and putting on this Form 1. All right, so that's interesting. Other gains and losses. So here you go. So this is what they're saying. You take your additional amount from line 23 through 35, which is your adjustments to income, which was before was the above the line adjustment. So here, okay, this is what's going on. Here's your adjustments to income. Here's your previous 1040. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. All right, so here's your previous 1040, which is on the first page of the 1040. Your adjustments to income, taxes and credits. Here's your AGI. All right, so here, yeah, okay. So here's, all right, there you go. Adjustments to income is the above the line deductions here. So education expenses, self-employed. Let's see real quick. Reserve capital gains or losses. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, right here. So education. Okay, so adjustments to income 23 to 36 on the new form was what the old form was 23 to 36. Okay, there you go. Right. So adjustments to income is your above the line deductions, and this now is not going to be on the first page of the 1040. Instead, it will be on Form 1. I think is what it was called. Form 1. On your new 1040, Schedule 1, excuse me. So Schedule 1 of the new Form 1040, your adjustments to income, your above the line deductions will be on Schedule 1. Your additional income, which was right where was the additional income? There you go, right here. It's all in the same thing. It's all on line. That was on page 1 as well, basically. Business income, alimony receipt. Okay, so same thing. So they're just moving it off the first page and they're moving it to his own page. So Schedule 1 is going to have your above the line additions to income and above the line deductions as well. Okay, and there you go. And so you take those two, combine them, and that's what you put on your schedule on the first second page of the 1040. So that's interesting. I like that. All right, I'm just curious what they've done. In terms of their Schedule C, it looks like it's still out there. Schedule C, they don't give us a link for that. So I'm going to presume the Schedule C is still the same as what it was before, Schedule D, Schedule A, and Schedule B. Now, they have other forms there, schedules. So they got Schedule 2. Let's see what Schedule 2 is. So let's see here. I don't know. Schedule 2. My wife, I'm telling you, when she's doing all this, she was like, man, I was like, I don't know. She's like, do you know anything about this? I said, nope. So Schedule 2 is what? This will be your tax. Okay, there you go, the AMT, and that's it. Not much there. Just your Schedule 2 is the tax, reserve, alternative tax. I guess that's it. So Schedule 2 is just your tax. All right. I didn't say much. All right. Well, that's, I like that. It says this is your tax, but it's also on the 1040 too. So 1040 as well. Non-refundable credits. Schedule 3 is going to be your non-refundable credits. Does that mean Schedule 4 is a refundable credit? So remember we did yesterday or just a few minutes ago about the lifetime learning credit. That is a non-refundable, where the education tax credit is a refundable. Even though they got education credits here, that'd be lifetime learning. Credit for child and dependent care expenses, those aren't refundable. But your education credits, 8863. And I thought that's where you also filed your education tax credit too, your AOC, what's it called? American Opportunity Credit. That's interesting. Why is that showing up on non-refundable? So is there a Schedule 4 refundable? No, just other taxes. Huh. So why do they say specifically non-refundable? I don't get that. Other taxes, self-employed tax, unreported Social Security, Medicare tax, healthcare, individual responsibility. Well, that's going away, thankfully. That's your mandate. If you don't pay the mandate, you have health insurance, you got to pay a pretty steep penalty. My wife dealing with tax people who are in the lower tax bracket were getting hammered by that last year. It's bad. Oh, here we go. Schedule 5 is refundable credit. So this got to be your AOC, I imagine. American Opportunity Credit. Let's take a look. I got to think that's on there. Reserve. Okay, so they're just holding that for later. Credit for federal tax on fuel, excess Social Security. I don't know. Anyways, that's interesting. So we got 5 schedules there. I wonder how many schedules there are going to be in total. Let's just go to Schedule 6, and we'll stop here. Schedule 6. Foreign address at third. Okay. And so lots of schedules, but one-page tax form. It's gonna be interesting. So get ready. Don't wait to the last minute to fill this out, because it's gonna be different, my friends. And there's a lot of changes. So get your taxes done. Get your 1099s, your W-2s. Get all that stuff squared away. Was a partnership's got a K1? Is that right? Yeah, K1. Oh. If you're a limited partner, get your freaking K1 out there ASAP. You do not want to wait until May. I don't know why that's acceptable, but whatever. Anyway. All right. So as always, if you like what you see, subscribe, comments, thumbs up, always help. Go to the blog at Heritage Wealth Planning, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.